looks like the live stream is up and ready to go. I honestly was running into some, felt like I had to bend over backwards just to like get the last video up, but there was just an issue with the processing that I couldn't really do anything about. Thankfully it seems like we're good to go now, so hopefully, you know, that was just like kind of a one-time thing, or just like an issue with my internet connection or what have you. But you know, I'm still trying to like wrangle this new YouTube studio that's well, I don't know about new, but it's different from the last time I used it. But anyway, before we start getting back into chapter 1 here, I have a couple of like logistical things to go over. First, I know the opening cinematic that like I played through in the first part was really stuttery and like played at about 5 frames per second. Definitely speaks to how running this game really pushes my laptop to its limits, which is not great, but I guess we just have to make do. I'm probably going to link the opening cinematic in the description of part 1 because it's that good, you know. It's definitely worth watching like properly. I'm not going to butcher it like with a 5 frames per second rendering of it. But so there's that, and then also I definitely am more or less happy to announce that my terrible audio, my mic quality should be over with for the most part, because yeah, let's see if I can pull this up here. It's pretty great, isn't it? I got a new mic, and this one is actually studio ready, and hopefully it won't be as like low, just like generally low quality. So hopefully that'll also fix the issue with sort of, you know, my voice not being loud enough, or I'm probably still gonna have to tinker with the settings, but that should just improve the quality of the stream dramatically, just in and of itself. Obviously there's the webcam and the frame rate I still have to worry about, but that's one less thing that, you know, brings this whole thing down. So let's get back into it. Where we left off was setting the scene. Of course, we open towards the end where we're already at like the sort of festival or the Halloween party probably, and Yuzuriha and Nerine perform together, and that's probably going to be like a landmark thing towards the end of the VN. And then there's also something going on with our favorite Sasaki twins, who also seem to have prominent parts in here. We also learned that Yuzuriha is not nearly as confident as she lets on, and that's kind of like the outward persona that she puts up. Hey, how's it going? We're just about to get started, but yeah, I got a new mic, so hopefully that fixes up a lot of the audio problems. But thanks for coming in. We're gonna try and finish up chapter 1 today, and yeah, hopefully, you know, it'll come along to something that's more engaging, I guess, or maybe we can even come along to a mystery or what have you. I'm not really sure, but I was just recapping what we learned so far in chapter 1. So let's get back into it. Where we left off was Yuzuriha just had like a conversation with Nerine about like, oh, how would you feel about dating, like 2 girls dating, and Nerine is basically, you know, she's not super down for it. She got a bit of that internalized homophobia going on, unfortunately, which, you know, for a conservative Catholic school, it is not surprising, very unfortunate, but not surprising at the same time. So the scene that we left off was there was a strange letter sort of left under Yuzuriha's, like, I forget where, her bed, maybe? I could just go back. Okay, well, I did not mean to do that. Okay, let's just skip back to... So yeah, she received a mysterious letter, and it was very foreboding. You know, she wasn't really sure what to make of it, but it didn't really spell good news for her, you know. one more adjustment real quick. I noticed that watching my last playthrough, I was having some issues with the background music being a little bit too loud at some points. So hopefully that'll alleviate that a little bit.
さてさて、どうしたものかな。
Yeah, given her how she interacts with everyone, how she's like overly friendly and well, maybe not overly friendly, more just pretty flirtatious. Straight up, not really surprising. Kind of what I was saying yesterday, how like, you know, you flirt with everyone the way that she does and someone's gonna take it seriously.
ゆずりはごめんなさい、驚かせてしまったようね。いや、つい物思いにふけってしまっていたからね。ああ、そうか。足音がしないわけだ。もうそろそろシャワー室も空いたと思うけれど。何かあったの？特に何も。いい秋空だなと眺めていただけだよ。ああ、そうだ。今はお昼は何を注文しようかなと思っているけどね。ゆずりはが嘘をついているのは私わかるのよ。参ったな。お見通しか。もしかして1年生の時のプリンシパル事件のようなことになっているわけではないわよね。人をマイリー・サイラスのように言わないでくれ。僕はそこまでお騒がせ女じゃない。
I wonder if she's referring to she has to be referring to Miley Cyrus post Hannah Montana, you know, obviously when her reputation definitely started to go downhill after that VMA's incident with Robin Thicke, right? Whereas before, when she was like a still a teen pop star, she still had that like Disney like that Disney reputation, you know, and as in like squeaky clean. Yeah, that does bring into question like when this like does take place. I know we talked about this before, like it takes place in the modern day, but you know, what year specifically?
どうしたの？ハロウィンパーティーでの出し物の件、それと個人での衣装がなかなかに凝っているやつでね。ここのところ寝不足なのさ。
Like I know the VMA thing, and like when Wrecking Ball that song came out, I think I was in high school at the time. It's probably around 2013. That was the height of it, which is probably around when this game was written, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not really sure. I mean, I know that the entire series has been completed for a while now. We've just been playing the waiting game for the translations, but still a very whatchamacallit, a very timely reference, I think.
もう衣装の用意を始めているの？早すぎないかしら。
But yeah, that is how old I am. I'm pretty damn old. Because I was in high school and all that stuff happened. You just do the math.
去年のことを忘れたのかい？帽子、眼帯、衣装を凝らしたデザインと船長服を作るのに死ぬ思いだったのを知ってるじゃないか。
それはそうだけど。ゆずりはさん、先生がお話があるそうよ。
救いの神だ。
今？
バスキア教諭のお呼び出しだ。行ってくるよ。
ゆずりはさん、ゆずりはさん。
2014. Yeah, that definitely lines up, I think. Oops.
ああ、どうしたんだい？分かっています。ええ、その英語を訳せばいいんですね。
ごきげんよう。
ああ、ごきげんよう。食事中に話しかけてくるなんて珍しいね。僕に興味があるのかな？
いえ、興味というか。
興味がない？それはおかしい。熱でもあるんじゃないかね？
Yep, that's everyone from the previous games up until now making an appearance, except for Suo, of course, who up until now has only been referred to as like a ghost, more or less. I do find that pretty interesting, like how that's how like the majority of other, even like Yuzuya, who is fairly like comparatively pretty familiar with her. I do appreciate like how she's introduced in this game as like, oh, she was just here, you just missed her, as if like her, you know, as if her presence is like really ephemeral, or oh, you know, in the autumn uniform she looks like a ghost walking around the library, which is also pretty, I guess, funny, but not like, she would not find that funny, you know. I like Suo a lot, if that wasn't obvious, so of course I'm going to pick apart every observation that's made about her until she shows up, and even when she shows up.
さすがにペッパーソースをかけすぎじゃありません？
辛党なんだよ。
Oh yeah, she's spacing out.
Nelly の言葉が尾を引いているのか。
Yeah, as unsurprisingly, and what's been hinted at, the love letter was from Nerine, which is well in direct contrast to what she said in the bath the other day. If that is her, anyway.
いっそ付き合ってみたらどうだ？ん？ああ、そうだな。指を切ってしまった。
早く保健室に行きましょう。治療してもらわなくちゃ。
深く切ったわけじゃない。舐めれば治るさ。それなら私が舐めます。やれやれ、まるでジェリー・ルイスの喜劇だ。
ジェリー？
もちろん幾度も間抜けさ加減を指摘された自分がということだがね。
Well, there's our first typo.
八代先輩、行きましょう。
心配しすぎだよ。これくらいなら。
いちごね、そっちの手を持ってくださいですよ。よし、来た。少しだけ付き合ってください。
励ますつもりだってことはわかるけどね。
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they're members of the Yatsushiro fan club. Can't really blame them. But and then obviously it's hinted that one of them like does take a serious interest in her from the beginning. It's probably Ringo. I talked about this in the first episode. Like, I have my doubts about like which one it is. You know, the whole identical twins thing makes that you know, introduces a whole new wrinkle into that scenario. But I guess we'll have to see. You know, it's classic. Like, oh, who was it? You know, you don't get into the details of whose words had that kind of impact on her. Not right away. I mean.
落ち込んだら焼き芋ですよ。焼き芋。火を使うことは了承を得てきていますですよ。
燃える火を眺めるだけでも落ち着くか。
なぜか燃えている火を見てると穏やかな気持ちになりますよね。暖炉で火が燃えているだけの光景をずっと流している番組もあるらしいですよ。
Yep, YouTube videos out there too to help you sleep or whatever. Actually, this is a good thumbnail shot. Get the cursor out of the way, just in case.
視聴率はなかなか高いらしいです。音がなくて寂しいだとか、なんとなくテレビをつけていたい人にはウケるのかもですね。
それと心が疲れている時はいいのだろうね。ぼーっと眺めてしまう気持ちが
These games don't unlock the gallery feature until you're done with the game. I don't know if you have to complete like the true ending or just one, but when I go back to the main menu, I'll point out like the gallery feature is locked. So I usually have to like just do it as I go. There's always good CGs though. There's no shortage of yeah, it's a little bit like, you know, what if I want to like, what if I'm not done with the game yet and I want to like admire it, but it's not really that big a deal. There's like plenty of good CGs as you go.
いや、死んでるわけでもないってのに。
ゆずりは先輩？
感傷的な気分になって癒された。この上焼き芋まで食べられるんだ。 誘ってくれて嬉しいよ。これ以上はもらいすぎだ。遠慮するよ。
せっかく入れてきたので飲んでほしいですよ。どうぞ。お芋にはお茶かと思いましたが、八代先輩はコーヒー糖ですものね。
ああ、ありがとう。苦いな。
苦いのが美味しいのではないのですか？たくさんミル回したんだけどな。細引きって何ですか？
粗挽きというのは聞いたことがあるだろう。あれは字のごとく粗くひいた豆のこと。細引きは細かくなるまでひいた豆のことだよ。粗挽きはドリップした時抽出されにくいのですっきりした味で酸味が少ない。細引きは抽出するので濃く酸味が強い。
砕きすぎたから濃くなりすぎてしまったのですね。
それとおそらく火にかけすぎたんだな。煮詰めてしまっている。
そうですか。
There's your coffee lesson for the day. It's honestly pretty interesting. My parents used to run a coffee shop when I was in elementary school. I'd spend a lot of time there, but obviously I wasn't in charge of making the coffee or anything because that was too dangerous for like an 11-year-old to handle. But I knew how to make like the bubble tea and that kind of thing. For someone who doesn't like coffee, she sure knows a lot about it. She is pretty good at keeping up appearances.
いや、別段悪いことじゃない。これから甘いものをいただくんだ。多少苦い方がありがたみが湧くってものだろ。
そうだよリンゴ。はい、できましたよ。暑いですから下やけどしないようにしてくださいね。
こいつはうまい。
でしょ。おばあちゃん直伝ですから。
That does look pretty good, honestly. Hand baked too, over an open fire.
ね、私が言った通りでしょリンゴ。
I wonder if what they're doing is against the school rules too. I remember in Volume 1, they had like tea time after night, definitely breaking curfew. They weren't supposed to do that, but that was definitely a joys of youth moment. So I feel something similar from this scene.
脱帽ですよいちごね。
何が言った通りだって？
焼き芋は幸せの味。食べたらゆずりは先輩が笑ってくれるっていちご姉が言ったのですよ。姉は常に正しいのです。
思った通りだ。なかなかに合うよ。
それは良かったですよ。こっちも焼けたみたい。私たちも食べよう。
ネリーだけじゃない。彼女たちまで心配させていたんだな。ゆずりは
先輩、バターを塗ると一味違いますよ。
ありがとう、いちごくん。 リンゴくん。
別に心配とか。もしかして進路のこととかですか？リンゴ。
couldn't have said it any better myself.
そうだ。担任教諭に進学のことで話をされてね。まだ1年以上あるが、少しナーバスになってしまったよ。
そうなのですか
？They definitely look up to her, so I can see where that instinct, desire probably comes from. But you know, the Yuzuriha made that observation at the beginning of the game. She's like, maybe Ringo knows more than she lets on, so maybe she can see that it's just a front.
少し気恥ずかしいな。
八代先輩、私の好きな本の中で道を悩む和コードにこう説いた言葉があります。そんなに偉くなる必要はない。週に一度好きなものが食べられるくらい稼げればそれでいいんだと、私としてもそう思います。
Words of wisdom, really.
本当に大切なものは目に見えない。
知ってる、星の王子様ですよね。
見えないものは佐々木くんたちの気持ちだ。だからといって見えているものを適当に扱っていいはずがない。これは見えている友情の証。二人の気遣いはとても甘くて美味しい。ありがとう。僕はいい後輩を持った。前を向き答えを出そう。
Honestly, I really like that scene. It's a good mix of, you know, like it feels very high school and not like in a bad way. It's definitely like, oh, you're like discussions about the future, kind of like interspersed with these kind of like silly or like these lighthearted moments, and all set to this like very picturesque backdrop. I guess you could say that is very like, the joys of youth, that kind of thing, which this game is pretty good at, or this series is pretty good at, I think. Overall, I wasn't expecting to see something like that this early, but you know, I'm not gonna complain. It's good stuff. Even though like that conversation was held under like a pretense of this is like the thing that's weighing me down, when obviously there's more going on.
Kirei da na. 会議ずいぶん長くかかってしまったわね。もうこんなに日が落ちている。
秋の日は鶴瓶落としというからね。ついこの間までは暑さでへばっていたというのに、季節が巡るのは早い。
ええ、もうハロウィンパーティーだもの。だいぶ話も定まったし、あとは用意するだけね。
定まったからか。
なーに？
用意する手はずは大方済んだし、あとは個人個人の問題だな。
ゆずりはは今年はどんな衣装を用意するつもりなの？
そうだな。僕だけ言うのもアンフェアだ。まずはネリーの衣装を教えてほしいな。
そうね。ただ教えるのじゃつまらないから、ゆずりは当ててみて。
そうだな。ネリーなら外国の王妃の幽霊とかじゃないか？
驚いた。ゆずりは、あなた超能力でも持っているの？
そんな能力があればベガスにでも行って人儲けしているよ。僕がしたのはただの推理さ。
It's the dream.
既存の衣装を使ったものにするに違いない。
Yeah, you can't exactly. In this setting, you can't exactly just order something off Amazon. At first, I was like, why don't they just, you don't have to make a costume, but yeah, they do. I guess that makes all the cool costumes just that much better.
ねえ、なんで外国の王妃の幽霊をするって分かったの？
ネリーの顔つきで和風の幽霊は似合わないだろう。それと王妃なのはドレスに説得力を持たせるためさ。
ドレスなのも分かっているの？
だからそんな目で見ないでくれよ。様式美ってだけさ。外国の幽霊だからってジーンズにパーカーじゃあまり怖くはならないからね。
そうやって聞くと確かにそれしかないってわかるわね。
幽霊王妃か。きっと綺麗だろうな。ハロウィンパーティーが楽しみだよ。
褒めても何も出ないわよ。はい。それでゆずりははどんな衣装にするの？
ベタなチョイスだよ。今回はドラキュラだ。前回使った幽霊船長の衣装も再利用できそうだしね。
Ghost and a vampire, huh?
ブラド3世ね。ゆずりはに似合いそうだわ。
I wonder if that's. I'm sure she meant that as a compliment, but you know.
ブラド3世、確かドラキュラのモデルだった人物か。
そうね。やっぱりドラキュラの衣装ならあの生地は映えるかも。
She definitely this game definitely like casts her so far as like girl hopelessly in love kind of thing. I'm really enjoying it considering how different it is from her from how she carries herself and how the other characters see her. Exactly the kind of that's the kind of deep dive that I was like hoping for going in.
行きましょう。
あまり良い思い出がある場所ではないんだよな。
ねえ、この生地を見て。これマントに合いそうじゃない？
ああ、確かに良さそうだ。
でしょ。やっぱりドラキュラならマントは必須よね。
さすがに夜の作業中はいい気分はしなかったな。
何？
いや、なぜ被服室なのに鏡が置いてないのかってね。マネキンを置くならまずは姿見だろ。
You know, I actually don't know if this game continues on. I feel like it would be weird if at this point if we didn't have any mysteries to solve in this game. But you know, like obviously Yatsushiro has some skills, has some like deduction skills. You know, as that last scene was probably meant to demonstrate. But you know, I don't know. She's definitely no Suo, and Erica has a talent for it too. So I don't know. I feel like it's like a signature feature of this game. So there should be some things that we should be figuring it out. Some quote unquote mysteries that we'd be solving. Okay, so there is at least one. Yeah, that's good to hear. I mean, I think the last playthrough I had like a 50% success rate on solving the mysteries, which by my standards is pretty good. I mean, you would think that like with my penchant to overthink everything that I'd be pretty good at that, but I kind of got the worst of both worlds there. Like I overthink everything and I'm stupid. So, but it is fun to like sort of go through that process and to kind of see like if like you're able to put the pieces together. I think I've gotten better at it from the last game, so as long as there aren't any like silly translation errors or like kind of just like questions that are straight up wrong like there was in the first volume, should be fun to do this time too.
鏡。そうね。私も疑問に思ったわ。
I do wonder, I am asking, like, kind of just wondering when I should prepare for that, because usually, like, the chapters that have mysteries in them, like, there are details, like, there are details that, like, you should be paying attention to, and that, like, you have to remember, basically. Yeah, we'll see how the difficulty, scales into this game.
だろう？
ねえ、知ってる？ある時期にモーテルで自殺者が急増したって話。
急な話題転換だな。
Yeah, seriously. Music stops and everything. This game does know how to turn a phrase though. Really knows how to make use of that sound to full effect. I personally really like the moments where it's like really it's dark out and there's no one around and you can definitely like it definitely feels like dead silence even though I'm just staring at it through a computer screen, you know. Really drives home that sense of isolation. I mean, if I went to this school, I'd be scared to go to like go out at night.
急激な増加をした自殺者にどうしてだろうってとある機関が調査したそうなの。
Oh, that's some haunting music. I was not expecting that.
するとその当時大人気だった備え付けのあるもののせいだと分かったの。
話の流れからすると鏡かい？
ええ、鏡張りの部屋に一人というのは精神的に耐えられないそうなの。
起伏室には置いていない？まあ根を詰めて一人で作業しているとき。
ええ、鏡張りの部屋に一人というのは精神的に耐えられないそうなの。だから
鏡の中に自分以外の何者かが見えたら絶叫してしまうだろうね。
Classic horror movie scenario. Doesn't make it any less scary though. I'd freak out too.
自分が少しだけ変わって見えるというのも嫌ね。真顔で見つめているのに鏡の中の自分は笑っているとか。
Yeah, same. It seems like I've found a kindred spirit despite everyone's fascination with horror at this academy.
お話としては好きだが。
ゆずりはは鏡で怖い話を何か知らないの？
僕が知っているのはベタなやつだけさ。鏡に向かって「お前は誰だ!」というやつとかね。
聞いたことがあるわ。鏡に向かって話しかけたりするのよね。
Well, I respect that. I can't do it. I don't have like the stomach for it, and I have the overactive imagination that keeps me up at night.
細かくは知らないが、そんな感じの話だったな。それはそうと知っているかいネリー。化け猫がアンドンの油を舐めるって描写があるだろう。あれはろうそくが好きだからじゃないんだ。当時は安い魚油を使っていたからの描写なんだよ。一般市民はろうそくなんて高級品でとても手が出なかったんだ。当時の食生活は野菜が主だったからね。その残りを餌として与えられる猫も魚、タンパク質に飢えていたんだろう。そうだ、魚といえば川だが、川にも貝板は多いね。川の貝といえば
Several ghost stories, in fact.
川の貝ね。
そうだ、川といったら吸血鬼は川を渡れないという伝承もあったね。
ええ、ブラッド3世。裏地が赤のビロード生地なんだけど、表は黒地なの。これってマントにするのにぴったりじゃない？
確かに。これなら手直ししてマントにするのもだいぶ楽ができそうだ。
そうでしょ。 うしたの？
いや、なんでもないよ。生地は十分かな。マントならせめて膝くらいまでは欲しいからね。
そうね、少し見てみましょう。
今が夕暮れ時でよかった。
譲り葉？
どうしたんだいネリー。
以前もこんなことがあったなって思い出したの。あの時はこの生地がタオルで、譲り葉はずぶ濡れだった。
小学校の時、急な雨に降られ2人でずぶ濡れになってネリーの家で服を借りた。
一緒にお風呂に入ったわよね。今じゃ絶対に一緒にお風呂なんて無理ね。
お互い成長したものな。
そうね、私の家のお風呂では無理。昔は私の方が大きかったのにね。
そうだな、服も借りられない。そうだ、私は子供の頃から。
That is the bitter irony of this situation. Being able to narrate can read her like a book, but she is like seems to be so against that idea that she seems to be homophobic to the point that she doesn't even occur to her, right? Yuzuri has got it rough, honestly. Poor girl.
幼い頃から抱いていた気持ち。
I'm really digging this OST though. I've always felt that way, but yeah. I think it's just hearing it for the first time in this very in this quiet, intimate setting, just wow, I felt that, you know?
お返事を返してもらえるとは思っていませんでした。
真摯に向き合ってくれた。だから僕も真摯に向き合わなくてはならないと思った。
きちんと断ってくださってありがとうございます。私はどうしても気持ちを伝えたかった。だから
私とは違う。卑怯者ではない。
最後に一つだけ答えてくださいますか？八代先輩は誰か 思う人がおられるのですか？
I don't know, if there's one thing you learn in high school, it's that you shouldn't tell anyone, even if they say that they can trust you. That stuff so easy to get out. All it takes is one person telling one other person who tells one other person, etc. So let's see how, actually I don't know, maybe we'll get a choice to respond or not. That's the smart thing to do though.
ありがとうございます、八代先輩。
時として嘘の方が幸せなことがある。やっぱり臆病者だ。変わらない。
Easier said than done, right? Ultimately, I think, she did what was best for herself, but man, that was rough. Yatsuro, the lady killer, breaker of hearts. Yeah, that's a nickname that's in line with her image, I think. Oh, is this a reference to the scene that I did not see at the end of volume 2? I actually have not gone back and looked for it, so yeah, I did hear that. You did tell me that's pretty important, so. Yep, that's Erica figured it out with our help.
3ヶ月ほど前、温室で頭を負傷する怪我をしましたよね。
あの時は迷惑をかけた。僕が起こした事故だったというのに、高坂君にも迷惑をかけてしまった。
Well, now we get a rehash of it. So I do appreciate like if it really is, like, it seems like it is that pivotal of a moment. So oopsie. Yeah, that's from volume 1, right? That was, I think, the last mystery that you had to solve at the time, or in that game. Also one of the ones that I got wrong and had to look up.
あの時の事故は本当に事故だったのですか？この学院には聖母以外のマリアがいるのですね。真実の女神が。八代先輩は知っておられるのでしょ？どうかお願いです。真実を私に教えてください。
そうだ。 君が推察した通りだ。この学院には神がいる。
やっぱりまゆりはそのことを伝えて、彼女は私に助けを求めているんだわ。
知らない方がいい。謎を解く鍵なら教えてやってもいい。引き継ぎだよ。そうさ、僕の役職を君が引き継ぐんだ。二階屋の会の会長となれたら、真実の扉の鍵を与えよう。会長を引き継ぐ際の代々伝えられる文言に、真実の女神へと至る鍵がある。
Yeah, you were spot on when you said it was pretty important, to say the least. I mean, that fundamentally changes what I guess what Suo is looking for. Like, now she has like a more of a focus for this game and presumably the next game.
「僕はどうしたらいいんだろうね、ネリネ。オズの魔法使いという童話がある。竜巻に遭い、おとぎの国であるオズの地へと降り立ったドロシー。偶然に恐ろしい東の魔女を退治し、マンチキンの国を救った彼女は、その場にいた優しい北の魔女から、家に帰るためにはエメラルドの町に行かねばならぬと教えられた。父母のもとへと帰るため決意したドロシーは、黄色いレンガ敷きの道を頼りに歩き出す。その旅の途中、最初の同行者と出会う。カカシだ。カカシはどうにかして木の棒にくくりつけられた体を外し、脳みそを得るために旅の同行者として共に行けないかと懇願する。熱意のこもった演説の反面、ドロシーは物語の中であっさりと同行を許した。簡単に仲間に迎え入れたことに、私はひどく動揺したのを覚えている。カカシにとって世界が変わるほどの選択、それが出会い、語り、ものの数分で開けていく感覚。これから始まるお話は、選ぶべき道を軽率に選んだ愚か者のお話。
Yeah, no kidding. That took almost 4 hours for me to get through. They kind of end. It wasn't just like filler either. They just kind of plopped us right into this. Ugh. I don't mean that like it was a bad thing, but man, our student council president is a very troubled and conflicted individual, isn't she? And you know, you can never. I'd say like her faking it, like her outward, like public, her posturing isn't really sustainable. This might sound mean, but I kind of want to see like that artifice come down. You know, like she claims to like be like that. There's a side of herself that only comes out when she's around Nerine, but she hides things from Nerine too, right? I already talked about how like that's probably going to be like the like that's going to be her character arc, right? Is kind of like her wrestling, her struggling with her own identity crisis. So I mean, just because like that's most likely the direction that this game's going to take doesn't mean it's not going to be like really, you know, emotionally, I don't know if I'm ready for it. Well, yeah, that's kind of the progression of the flower in the corner is also is like not only indicates like how far you are along like the route that you're on, but also it's synonymous with character growth, right? But we're still at the it's just beginning to sprout basically. And we've hardly made any choices so far, but I think I'll save for now. Honestly, we're at like around the hour mark, so I'm probably going to like say that yeah, this is a short stream for today and call it, so I can like give chapter 2 like a proper section. I'm not really sure how long it's going to be, but that's usually how I like to split this stuff up. But yeah, there's already a lot to unpack here. We've got our conflicts all set up, and yeah, I mean, I'm not there was that like whole little information bomb, you know, that the student council president is like entrusted with this, like, well, the Gods of Truth is one of like the 7 like mysteries of the school, right? And usually associated with the idea that like if you see any of these, like if you come in contact with any of these legends, that you disappear. I know this was discussed a lot in volume 1, like that these like legends were a affront to people who this if my memory is serving me right, that's like the 7 mysteries are like sort of excuses, or like excuses for people who don't want to leave the academy to just like leave without anyone really knowing what happened to them, right? Or knowing the real reason behind why they left. But it seems like in this case, there's something deeper going on, or there's something beyond that that's going on. And in Mayuri's case, obviously, like she like came in contact with one. I forget which one it was at the Feast of the Assumption, but yeah, like ostensibly that's the cause for her disappearance. But you know, we've known that there's more to it than that, and it seems like, you know, Yatsushiro knows. It's basically said in that flashback scene, which is like the bonus scene at the end of volume 2, that Yatsushiro knows like pretty much, maybe not the reason, but like she knows more than Suo does. Yeah, that's right. Those are the mysteries that have been like explored so far. The Bloody Mary in volume 1, the Hookman in volume 2, the Gods of Truth, and also volume 1. I don't think the Wendigos have been encountered yet, but there's more to it than that. But yeah, I think I'm going to you know, I think I'm going to call it there. I think you know, chapter 1, like the ending of chapter 1 is a good stopping point, and there's already a lot to think about. I'm definitely excited to keep going with this and see where our troubled protagonist, how our troubled protagonist kind of reckons with the conflicts that are swirling inside of her or what have you. It's all very high school, you know. So yeah, thanks for coming along and watching the stream. As always, I appreciate, you know, I always appreciate like interacting and like being able to discuss this series, because you know there's a lot to talk about, and me just talking to myself in a mic is, you know, I can do it, but it's always more fun when there's people to stick around for it. So yeah, thanks again. Let me just go back to the main menu, which is just how I always end stuff. But yeah, hopefully this video like doesn't have the same processing issues as the last one. It took like a day for it to start showing up in my channel, and that's just kind of like annoying. I don't, you know, not ideal. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't download the video. I couldn't like interact with the video otherwise. It wasn't showing up outside of like the playlist that I put it on, etc., etc. So hopefully YouTube Studio plays nice this time around, and I can go back and also add thumbnails as I see fit, which is, I've been working on the thumbnail for part 1 as well, just for that clean presentation, you know. But yeah, you can see here that the gallery function is locked until you finish up the game. Hopefully, you know, I'll probably try and start streaming again next week, Monday, definitely, Monday at the latest, but I'll probably have some time Sunday afternoon that I can maybe set aside. But yeah, we're making pretty good progress, and honestly, it's nice to be back. Like, I kind of, being away from this series for as long as I have been, it's like I've kind of forgot why I loved it so much in the first place, but it's like I never left, you know, in a sense. At this, Saturday is kind of finicky for me, I guess. Probably in the evening is the most likely for me on Saturday, but I'm aiming for, like, as of right now, I'm kind of looking at like a Sunday, like maybe early afternoon. So right now it's like 3:48 my time. So I'm looking for like a little bit earlier than that. I'll probably try and start around like noon or maybe 1 o'clock, something like that. I'm not sure if that would work out on your end, but yeah, I mean, I always appreciate the viewership. It means a lot. So if you could catch it around this time, this is usually like the time that works best for me. But yeah, if that's about it, then I'm going to call it here. And get to work on those thumbnails. Thanks again for coming. Hopefully I'll catch you on Sunday, and you know, I'll probably schedule, like, I'll try to like put a set a time in the stream. Yeah, I'll schedule it, and you'll probably get a notification that if you have them turned on for my channel, that I'll start streaming like at a specific time instead of just like booting it up willy-nilly like I did this time. But yeah, hope to see you again soon, maybe on Sunday, and I'll catch you later.